welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 358, Troll from 1986. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too. And this episode is brought to you by the Knights of Walpurgis. The Knights of Walpurgis were founded around 1,000 years ago to protect witches and wizards from muzzle persecution. Shout out to the Knights of Walpurgis.
Well, shout out to the Knights of Walpurgis, and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. In case you're like, wait a minute, this isn't Tokyo Drift. Scheduling conflict, Tokyo Drift will be next week. We just flip-flopped the schedule. So Troll now, Tokyo Drift next week. But Joe, would you believe another fantasy movie from the 80s about a book?
About a book in which an old man tells a child a story.
In which the main character is once again Noah Hathaway from The Neverending Story.
Who's that? The kid? The boy?
Mm-hmm.
Is the same the same guy? I didn't recognize that.
No, I know.
Okay, cool.
Neither did I.
Okay, that's fun. The only note I have about him is that, this boy is a really bad actor, which I thought he was pretty good in Neverending Story and thought he was pretty bad here, but okay.
So Troll, from 1986, a wicked troll king in search of a mystical ring that will transform him to human form, invades a San Francisco apartment complex where a powerful witch lives, directed by John Carl Buechler, who did Friday the 13th Part 7, which is one of the bad ones. He also did The Dungeon Master, written by Buechler, but also Ed Naha, who wrote Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Chud 2, Bud the Chud. So
Chud 2?
Chud, do you know Chud? I will give you $1,000 if you know what Chud stands for.
Children having ultimate dunkaroos. I don't know. What?
Cannibalistic, humanoid, underground dwellers.
Okay.
It's like an A. Schlocky movie that I rewatched with my sister last fall, and she's like, this is bad. I was like, no, this is good. I don't know what you're talking about. But this guy, there's one called Chud 2, Bud the Chud that this guy wrote. John Carl Buechler wanted to write it himself, but he got tied up doing FX work on other projects, so he passed it off to Ed Naha and others. Produced by Albert Band, who did Terror Vision, which is a great movie, and Deborah Dion, who did Terror Vision and Ghoulies. Buechler first pitches to Roger Corman, rest in peace, while they're working on Android in 1982, but he passed on it. So he's just like, hey, let's make this movie. He's just like, no. And then they made the movie anyway. Shot by Romano Albani, who did Phenomena, which is a great movie, and Terror Vision. Budget of around $1 million, made $5.5 million. 30 on Rotten Tomatoes, 30 on Metacritic. No crazy credits. Sad. Had you heard of Troll at all before? I have trivia and stuff, but had you heard of this at all before we started recording?
So I said to you before we started recording that the actual troll costume looked familiar to me for some reason. I think I vaguely know about Troll 2 and the just periphery,
the lore.
The gently, the edge of that, of the lore of that. I mean, if you asked me to name this, I probably wouldn't have guessed it. Like I said, the troll costume looks vaguely familiar, but I'm unsure. It feels like something I saw a bit of on TV when I was a child unsupervised. But I didn't remember anything of it.
So Real Bad, which was a podcast on our network that no longer exists, their first ever episode was about this movie.
Okay.
Their 10th episode was about Troll 2.
Okay.
Troll 2, not a direct sequel. There's actually 0 trolls in that movie. It has nothing to do with trolls. It's just called Troll 2. Nobody really knows why. Or maybe they do, but I don't remember why.
It's the season of the witch of the troll family.
No, but it's that's still the Halloween producers who wanted to do it. This is just we're going to make a movie called Troll 2. It's like, well, is it a sequel to Troll 1? It's like, no, it's not.
Okay, yeah.
That movie, so this movie is known for being a good, bad movie, whatever. That movie is known for being the best good, bad movie. So much so that there was a documentary called Best Worst Movie about Troll 2.
Okay.
I would say if you want to get drunk with Rachel and watch a crazy bad movie, Troll 2, and then if you want to learn more about it, whatever. I saw them both a decade ago. I don't remember much about either the movie Troll 2 or the documentary. I'd never seen this before this week, but Troll 2 and the documentary, I both, from what I remember, recommend Troll 2 within the scope of...
It's shitty.
It's
shitty,
shitty,
but it's fun. Yeah, I get you. Okay, cool.
What I knew about this movie, and I forgot until I started doing research, 2 things. Number 1, main character named Harry Potter.
Yeah, that took me for a little bit of a loop, but okay.
The hero of this film is a boy named Harry Potter Jr., his father also in the movie Harry Potter Sr., who's surrounded by a fantasy world.
And they say it multiple times. It's Can you tell? Okay,
so there's more.
We're gonna get there. Go
Surrounded
ahead,
by a
continue.
fantasy world of witches, wizards, trolls, and magic, 11 years before the first novel from JK Rowling hit stands.
Harry Potter. Yeah.
The filmmakers...
Shout out to JK Rowling. It is Pride Month. Shout out to her. You know she supports it.
Filmmakers considered suing her. They're like, you took our shit. And she called it, quote, ridiculous, said she never even heard of the film. She's just like, I just liked the name Harry, and my friend was named Potter.
Okay.
I can sort of see, like, look, it would be so dumb and so insane to be, like, writing a thing that you probably know is going to be good, and to be like, I'm going to blatantly rip off copyright. I can also see, though, that, like, growing up or whatever, she saw this movie and had the name or whatever
100%
somewhere in her brain.
Yeah, and she has to deny now, sure, Harry Potter is, like, not... It's not a far-fetched name to imagine as a fake name. Right? It's fine.
It's a good name. It's not like a great name, but it's only a great name now because we grew up reading the books and watching the movies, and like people know the name, right? It's just like, oh, that's
like if the witch would have been named Hermione Granger, I'd have been like, okay, you know what I mean? Like if that, I'd have been like, you
this
bitch,
movie, JK.
Yeah, you're fucking lying. But I mean, the Harry Potter thing, like, I get it, but I also am 100% with you. She saw Trolls or read Harry Potter somewhere one time and was like, this thing about trolls and wizards, and she was like, oh, that's a cool wizard name, and then just like it came out later.
The other thing I remember about this movie is Julia-Louis Dreyfus. This is her film debut.
Was she in TV before this, and this is her film debut, or is this her screen debut, is what I'm asking.
That's a good question. Let me look that up. Because this predates Seinfeld by a couple years. Not radically before.
She looks young.
She
looks young, yeah. But sometimes when they say this is her film debut, they don't mean this is like her first time acting on screen.
So this is 86. Seinfeld starts in 89. Yes. No, she had been in... Oh. She was in one episode of Happy Days as Girl Throwing Confetti.
Okay.
12 years before this. But no, this is like her... This is her thing.
Debut, essentially. Yeah, because that's a background character or whatever, and Girl Throwing Confetti, and she was a child actor at that point, right? 12 years until this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would give this as her debut, yes.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
She hates this movie. She's embarrassed by this movie. She wished she didn't do this movie. She's embarrassed by it. Apparently, she was on Jay Leno one time, and he brought up a clip of this, and she was like visibly embarrassed and annoyed that he would do that. Just like, let's not talk about this movie.
I mean, you fucking cash a check and then you were on Seinfeld. Whatever, dude. Like, okay, cool. She wishes she never did this movie, then you might never be in Seinfeld, so,
The cool part is that the guy she is dating in this movie she was dating at the time and married him and still married him. Brad Hall.
That's just her husband?
That's just her, at the time, boyfriend, now husband, yeah. They've been married for since I think 87 or something. Like, they've been married for a long time.
It's longer than I've been alive. That's pretty cool. Good for them.
So shout out to them, or maybe not the 90s. I don't know, but they've been married for a long time, and I was just like, are they still together? And they are, yeah.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. So you hate this movie, but you married the guy that your boyfriend's with in this movie?
Yeah, you would think that you would be like, no, I had, like Riley Keough married the Doof Warrior from Fury Road, but I mean, she doesn't hate that movie, but like, you would think to be like, I don't want to talk about that movie, like it's, but like I do have fond memories, but apparently, who knows? I don't know. She's embarrassed by it. Whatever.
Okay, whatever.
I forgot that I wrote down this trivia, and then the thing happens in the movie. I was just like, oh, right. But when Eunice St. Clair turns her back to the camera and then lets her hair down, and she's all of a sudden just a
younger?
Babe. Yep. That's mother and daughter. That's like the actual mother-daughter playing the same character.
Oh, that's very cool. And very reminiscent of The Keep, another movie that we saw earlier this.
But it's not like they had, what's his face? Was it Patrick Stewart? No, not Patrick Stewart.
It's the other one.
Gandalf.
Yeah.
And Gandalf's dad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The only other trivia I have, and I want to talk about the movie because there's a lot to talk about in this insane movie, is that they were promoting this film like Cannes because, when you think troll, you think Cannes.
Yeah.
Producer Charles Band asked Phil Fondacaro to don the troll suit. So the guy who plays the troll and also plays Maxwell, whatever his name is in the movie.
He plays the professor, right? I was
Malcolm
assuming
Mallory.
that guy was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's like, hey, can you put on the costume and like dance around and like promote the movie? He's just like, no, it's too hot out. So he found a female circus performer named Tinou, Tinou, who fit in the costume. And so she's danced around, skipped around, handed out flyers, and then passed out of heat exhaustion while in the costume. And so apparently every time from then on when Charles Band asked Malcolm Mallory, the Charles Phil Fondacaro, to do anything. He's just like, remember when I said that was a bad idea and it was a bad idea? I'm not doing that. And just like held this over his head for the rest of his life.
Sick. Good for him. Fucking do it. I love that. That's awesome.
So that's all the trivia I have. I mean, there's not a ton, but like everything they have there I think is fascinating. What did you think of Troll?
This was actually a pretty good one. I was so stupid and silly. It was fun. Off the rip, something that we talk about a lot is length of movies. This one's very, very short. But again, I think I've come to the point, Joey, that like these 80s movies are just a fever dream. And although that they're short, they just like shit just fucking happens. And they don't explain it at all. It's just like I would like look down to take a note. I would look up and be like, is she younger? You know what I mean? Like situations like that. I'd be like, blah, 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 blah. And I'd be like, oh, the witch is just now 20. Okay. I look down to take a note and I'm like, is the little girl the troll? Is it the ring? Is she in the troll? Is the troll in her body? Did the troll take her body? Did he assume or like copy her? Whatever. Because like I looked down for 3 seconds and she was just like had this ring and now the troll. So.
Well, no, because it's like she finds a ring, and then you're like, "Where'd the girl go?" It's like, "Oh, the ring turns into the troll." Just like, okay, like I missed it, but like you didn't miss it. It's just
okay. I didn't miss it. Yeah, it just fucking happens. So in that sense, I really like that, and in some senses, I'm like, maybe this should have been an hour and 35 minutes.
Well, so there is one other bit of trivia that I did not mention yet, which I think is very important. So the original version for this movie, the idea for this movie, was there was a monster who was systematically killing off everyone who lived in this apartment building. And they're like,
okay,
well, we want it to be PG-13 so we can make money instead of R, so we're not going to do that. But then, by removing, like, this guy who's, like, murdering everyone in the building, all of a sudden you're like, so why is he doing that? And then with, like, 15 minutes left in the movie,
they're like, wait, we'll
Eunice
tell
is
you.
like, here's the story. It's like, well, this is too late. I don't give a shit anymore. Like, what are we doing here?
Yes. Yeah.
And, like, there's literally, including credits, I think 17 minutes, and there's, like, 3 or 4 minutes of credits. So there's, like, less than 15 minutes of actual movie, and she's like, here's why this is happening. And I'm like, but it's not a twist. It's not like a reveal. It's just like an explanation of your plot, which like it should have come the first time he meets her, because he's in her
pretty
apartment
much
like 5 times.
I was also thinking that there's like a very, very small set for this movie. Great idea to shoot an apartment building where it'll only cost you $35 to shoot the entire film, set wise.
I also love. Well, there's also like there's like outdoors an apartment building, right? It's just like foresty woods.
Yes. Yeah.
Jumping at the very end, I just love that. The movie ends by them just like, no, we're leaving, and they just move away because the family moves to the apartment building. Movie starts, like the
chaos
plot ends, whatever, and they're just like, well, we're gone, and they just leave, and that's how the movie ends. Just like, yep, nope, fuck this building, and then the cop gets abducted or whatever. I'm just like, so simple, just like, no, we don't want any part of this. We're getting out of here. She's like, yeah, okay, fair,
very smart. Actually, I think a lot of movies should end like that. Like the movie is just like. And something weird happened, and we got the fuck out of that town. You know? You're like, yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Just like, nope. Do you have a pick for the most 80s moment in the movie? I have 2 things here that stood out to me, both early on. I'm sure there were more things later, but like 2, I was like, these are both so 80s that I'm content to not like hunt for these anymore. Even though, once again, most of the movies are just like, this could only be in the 80s.
I have one pick I would like to give,
okay,
and I have a small one, and then I have a bonus other thing that I need to get out.
Go for it.
My pick for most 80s thing or moment in the movie is the green washing machines in the basement.
Oh, okay.
That classic 80s green appliance. You know, we were talking about everybody imagines the 80s to be so neon. They were just brown and green. Tan plate. The green appliances, yes. Him saying I'd rather be watching Star Trek was pretty funny and felt pretty 80s to me too. But go ahead, give me yours, and then I'm going to throw something in on the end.
Very early in the movie, after the girl becomes the troll, and then it's sort of like troll in a whatever, they get takeout shitty-looking burgers. What they call burger with the works, but they're served in a styrofoam container, which is very 80s.
Yes, styrofoam container of burgers, yes.
But it's also just like I think the point is that it's supposed to be gross, like look gross because the girl like slops
rat
it down.
burgers, yeah.
But it's also just like, this is disgusting. Like this is like 80s in a way that I'm just like, I do
Yeah, see, I think 80s food probably was pretty bad, but at the same time, it's not that like depression level meat, like canned meat inside Jell-O formation things. So like I can't hate on it that much, but the styrofoam containers, I'm 100% with you about.
My other thing is, I don't know if you recognized him, but the like
What?
Playboy in the apartment building.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Sonny Bono, like Sonny and Cher.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
He's the swinger that has lots of sex very loud that
Just like,
he wasn't want the
"You
children
are
to hear.
the only one with the kids in the building, and I can't get laid if they're running around, so you better fix that." Just like, dude, okay. His entire apartment is like 80s. It's just like Japanese characters
yes.
on the wall for no reason, and like things that are lit up for no reason, and like a weird looking
A tiger poster or something weird, like a velvet tiger poster.
Yeah.
The boys' room has like those classic 80s sports pennants that we saw in Princess Bride and shit like that too. Like it's like that same essentially room. Okay. But Joey,
Yeah.
in this movie, I know we just did the most 80s moment. The most 2020s moment of this movie is the Marine saying that liberal scum mock the presidents in books as much as they get, and you shouldn't stop reading books.
Oh. Wow.
I was like, I didn't expect to see something so poignant and relevant to today's world happening in this thing. But guy who listens to his music over you loudly and then has thoughts on something else wildly different and wants to tell you about those too, feels like a lot of people I see outside today.
Hashtag woke.
Hashtag, yeah.
I also like, speaking of books, that Harry Potter Sr. is a book reviewer.
He is, yeah.
When it's like, okay, so Harry Potter, magic, books,
Witch,
hating
troll,
liberals.
hating liberals, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, the more you think about it, I do think, once again, like all of these movies that we've been watching this lap, I think there is something to be commended, like the actual production, like the physical, practical effects, and like
I have this 100% in my notes.
Becoming like a pod or a cocoon or something, and then like morphing into this thing.
And the
like,
morphing, it's like many shots of it, like cutting back and forth to give you the progression of it. I think that just like 80s costume design and not using CGI once again is so awesome. Like even if it looks kind of corny, it's also kind of timeless because it's practical. Right? Like, you don't have that brain thing where you're like, oh, this looks really bad because of the CGI.
Yep.
It's just like, oh, this is just a goofy costume.
When they try to go a little bit big, like when the vines take over the building, then it looks a little bit like, you're like, oh, you didn't have money for that. But like when they're actually
You mean
just,
the part where it became
Little Shop of Horrors?
Little Shop of Horrors? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that part? Okay.
Or like when there's just like one musical number of the song for the movie for no reason?
Yes, yeah. One musical number for no reason was very fun, and in my notes as well, yes.
But like when it's small, when it's just like, we're going to make this one room look insane, it's like, yeah, no, that's really cool.
It's really cool. Yeah, they do a great job. Like even if it's Little Shop of Horrors or the troll costume itself is fucking fire too. And like the whole thing is they're like adding all these little weird beings like into the garden that he's like just collecting or whatever. That's weird.
Because like John Carl Buechler, the guy who directed this movie, did makeup on like Reanimator and Halloween 4 and Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex and Red Rock West and Ghoulies. And like he did special effects on From Beyond and Halloween, Curse of Michael Myers and Terrorvision. Like he's mostly a makeup guy. He's mostly like an effects guy, which is, what tipped me off to that was when he was just like, I wanted to write this, but I got stuck doing FX stuff for other movies. It makes sense that this looks beautiful. It also kind of makes sense that like the movie makes no goddamn sense, but like,
yeah,
it looks cool.
Because I don't think did he make other movies? Did he write other movies?
So he directed Friday the 13th Part 7, which is bad. He directed The Dungeon Master. He did Ghoulies 3. In terms of writing, he has a writing credit on this. He wrote The Dungeon Master, which I don't remember much about, but I don't think is very good. Fan favorite Garrett Smith gave that movie 1 star.
Not a good sign.
I think he's just like a special effects guy. Like he just like, I think it's cool. Like let these people.
He let him have his chance to make a movie, and the movie is fun. It's just like he's clearly a special effects guy that made a movie, not a movie guy that had special effects.
Yes. What else about this movie did you like or dislike or find weird or find gross? Because, like, my big question
is,
who is this movie for? Is it a kid's movie?
I think it is. I think it's a kid's movie, kind of. Like YA.
Okay.
On a similar note, I have a question for you that I was thinking of when you were just talking earlier. Which resident of the building are you?
Oh.
I have a pick for you, and I have a pick for me.
Because there's, like... I wish I made a better note of, like, who everybody was. Because, like, there is, like, 3 minutes in the movie that were just like, here's everyone in the building and how kooky they all are.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So pick your kooky character.
I'm not Mr. Dickinson. I'm not Sonny Bono.
You're not Sonny Bono, for sure.
I might just be Harry Potter Sr.
I that's who I would have picked for you. Yeah.
Who do you
I
think
100%
you are?
agree. The son.
Harry Potter Jr.?
Harry Potter Jr., yeah. I would be kind of skeptical. I'd be hanging out with the weird lady dicking off, and I'd be, like, watching TV and skipping dinners with people that I don't want to talk to.
That's another question I have about this movie.
What?
At what point is anyone concerned at what level for the sister?
0.
Because, like,
The brother's concerned, but everybody else...
But then sometimes he's not, but mostly he is, and his parents are just like, whatever, she's just a girl.
Yeah, they're like, she's clearly just a girl.
Because he's basically standing guard, like standing vigil.
He's protecting her, knowing that she's insane, and like something has possessed her, essentially.
Like, they're at breakfast one morning, and the dad's like, hey, Harry Potter Jr., can you go get me some more coffee? He's like, you got it, Dad, Harry Potter Sr., and he walks over there.
And they actually say it like that. If you've ever seen this movie, it's just like, hey, Harry Potter Jr., can you do that? And they're like, Harry Potter Sr., of course I can. And they like say the name 7,000. This is why I believe your JK Rowling thing. Because they like
it burned in her brain.
Yeah, it burned it into her brain. Okay, go ahead.
But he goes over there, and like the girl possessed eating breakfast has the gas on the stove like flare up, and the kid like almost burns his arm. And they're like, "Are you okay? What happened?" And he goes, "She knows what happened." And they like don't pursue that line of questioning anymore. It's like, what do you mean she knows what happened?
To kind of give him an out, he did seem dismissive and unwanting of dealing with and tolerating his sister earlier in the movie. So there might be like like minus her being clearly possessed and like throwing all their shit everywhere and just like causing excessive chaos. They might be like, oh, they just fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, it is the age where just, like, that's just, like, what they're going to do. Like, a brother who's, like, 14, a sister who's, like, 8.
He's, like, 12. She's, like, 6, 7.
I don't know. Like, he's like, going through puberty. Like, I think he's a little bit older than that.
No, she said, I knew the knock was prepubescent, is what the witch says when he knocks at the door.
True.
Gotcha.
That's a very weird line.
Yeah, that's why I remembered that as well. Very, very strange.
It's also weird to me that this is, like, pretty Wizard of Oz-y.
In what way?
Like, the Wizard of Oz, like everyone she sees in, I mean, it's not. It's like if you had the control over Oz, because like in the Wizard of Oz, everyone her family is like also like the Tin Man or the Wicked Witch or whatever. And here it's just like, you know that waitress who lives in our building? She's also a forest nymph. It's like, what?
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's not, Wizard of Oz. It's not like there's like a fever dream. It's just like, no, she was abducted from the building and became a forest nymph.
Yes.
But it's kind of Wizard of Oz in that way.
I think when you open the doors, it's kind of Narnia a little bit, right? Like, it is the wardrobe entrance to Narnia, but it's just every apartment is a different theme or something, right? Like, isn't that what he had to do when they explain it in the 3 minutes before the end of the movie? That he's like... Something that I noticed that I don't know if you noticed, but like it's kind of earlier in the movie after she gets possessed by the troll and she tosses all the stuff around. They come downstairs and the mom, like, they had just moved in, right? That's like the whole premise. They're just moving into this building and they're like unpacking everything, and everything the mom takes out of a box, she wipes down. Mm-hmm. Including a bottle of Tide.
COVID times.
like record album sleeves. She's like wiping those down too.
Okay.
To the point where like the dad's like, "Oh man, this one's fucked up," and she's like, "One less to wipe." What is?
I don't know. I just don't think that, like, they don't like fully explore things. I also just like that.
Joey, when you spring clean, do you wipe down every cover of the DVDs that are sitting behind you right there on that shelf?
No. When I
Can you
move them,
imagine
sometimes I'll wipe
doing
down the
that?
top. No, it's just no. It's like the movie just doesn't explore things. Like the one scene where the dad is playing Harry Potter Senior is playing music so loud
That it keeps knocking the dishes off.
The dish drain is falling into the sink.
Yes. Why does he do that?
I don't know.
So they send Harry Potter Jr. to go buy a loaf of bread. They say, "Do you want to take your sister?" He says, "Fuck no." So he goes and gets a loaf of bread. He comes back. She, like, Men in Black zaps him with the ring because it apparently can do that too.
Sure.
He's passed out on the thing. She comes inside. She goes, "Harry Potter Jr. is fucking passed out outside." And they're like, "Oh shit." But like in that interlude, the mom is doing dishes and the dad's just white man dancing to this record.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 2 or 3 minutes of the movie.
But like the premise of the movie is they've moved into an apartment building where everyone already hates them for different various noise-related reasons. And this dude is blasting music so loud that in another room, a dish drain is falling into the sink repeatedly.
And you know what's even worse about this? These are the only ones that don't get turned into trolls.
Yeah.
He should have been first to get turned into a troll.
Harry Potter Senior?
Yeah, you're the new man in town. Get the fuck out of my house.
Well, I wonder if the daughter being in charge, like she needs like to, maybe she's saving her family for last? Not in charge, but like she's the one who's like navigating between realms kind of.
I think you would conquer home first. I think this is a bad way to play the game. Her strategy was fucked up from the beginning.
Is it hers or is it Tolok or whatever his name is?
Tolok is different. The troll is different than the person that the witch is.
Torok.
It's just same name with a different umlaut or something.
Torok.
And the other one was
what?
Tolok.
No, who's Tolok?
I don't know. I thought you just said two.
No, I
just
said the wrong name. But Torok. This is Turok, but with an O instead of a U.
Okay, but that is not her like boyfriend guy, right? I totally missed that. They blew through this. They were like, she was like, "I had a boyfriend and now he's bad. Bye." And then that was it. I don't remember what happened.
Torok.
Tell me the story of this.
And some of the fairies. So there was a time where there was fantasy and humans cohabitating. And
Yeah,
Torok
exactly.
was king. And so then Torok and the fairies were just like, "Fuck humans. We don't want this anymore."
Okay.
And so like we're gonna wage a war. And so they waged a war and humans won. And they banished Torok.
Okay.
So now he wants revenge.
Is the troll and her boyfriend king the same person? Is
Yes,
what I'm
I
asking.
believe so. I think he was banished and like cursed to be a troll. Because like her boyfriend king is like this beautiful blonde.
But then the
whatever.
troll and the giant monster are in the same thing.
Well, the
and
troll's
that's the same
a big
person.
thing. Like, I don't think the little guy is the little guy a troll. I don't know. Fantasy is not really my genre,
Apparently not. Apparently not.
but I know what happened, sort of. And now
Kind of.
he's looking for revenge, and he wants a fair-haired maiden.
But he also gets like 3 days of like time that the port like that the upside down is open or whatever, right? That like if he can make the apartment building into the 5 realms of fairydom, then he can let it escape and the whole world becomes fairydom again.
Yeah, basically.
That's what I got from this. Okay.
But I think the sister, Wendy, would become the fair-haired maiden to serve as princess of the fairies.
Which the witch upstairs was.
Yes.
Right?
Because the witch upstairs also has like a little like lamp thing that's like just like a mushroom
Little Shop
creature.
of Horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she puts like a little
Lampshade on.
and just like you go away. There's a boy who's not ready to see you yet coming up here.
This was actually my most the biggest qualm I had with this movie is how do you have this rich old lady living in the same apartment building as these morons. You know what I mean?
I think she's there because she has to be there because that building is the portal.
Okay, so she's like on house arrest.
I think she's there like standing guard.
Oh, okay.
I think.
So she's the prison warden. In case shit breaks bad.
Like, she's like bestowed the power and the privilege to like make sure that things don't go bad.
Oh, but she doesn't. She says the fucking...
Oh no, she's bad at her job.
She's the Brian O'Connor of prison wardens. Is what she is? Is that what this is?
I also don't understand how she became young again.
I don't know either.
Like,
I don't know.
I think
that's what I'm saying. I have a lot of questions because at an hour and 20, I'm not complaining. But at the same time, I'm like, you might have wanted like an extra 15 minutes here just to unpack some of this shit just a little bit. And this could have been pretty interesting.
I think this movie is objectively worse than every other movie similar to it that we've watched this lap, but it's more
fun,
watchable, more fun because it's weirder and because it doesn't explain itself.
I agree. I'm with you, brother. I do like. I like this one. Yeah.
Like, I won't watch again Neverending Story or Labyrinth or whatever, but I might watch this again just because like
this definitely
gross
would be on
and weird.
This definitely would be on a bar television in my dive bar. Troll 1, and now, if I see Troll 2, and that existed as much fun as this, I think I might do that too, but Troll 1 for sure. I like this one.
Well, Troll 2 is so different.
That's what I mean.
I remember.
But I just don't know what it is, so
no.
like I can't commit to that yet. But I'm saying Troll 1, if you had this on and people were like, what the fuck are we watching? Like, why does this little girl have a ring in the thing? You're like, well, they don't explain it in the movie either, so like you don't really need the sound. I don't know what to tell you here, guys. Who's that? Harry Potter?
No, not the Harry. Well, I told you that like there is a story from the 1930s by this guy Nathaniel West where the main character is named Homer Simpson.
Oh, that's cool. No, that makes sense.
And like,
was that the inspiration for?
No. He knew about it. It's not like the JK Rowling thing, but like his dad's name was Homer or something. Like there was a reason that he named Homer Simpson. But there's a story that came out like 50 or 60 years before The Simpsons, where the main character walking around is named Homer Simpson.
Well, you also have like Homer that wrote the Odyssey, right? So
yes.
So like it's not like that's not bad, but Homer Simpson, yes, I get it. But like, you know, give it 50 years, nobody remembers his fucking story. You're fine. Take the license. But 10 years and you have Harry Potter and Harry Potter Jr. running around. I don't know about that one. I had another 80s moment that I forgot to mention when we were talking about it. Okay. TVs that have a giant tracking line while you're watching them.
Ooh, yeah.
Is very, very 80s.
Yeah.
That was something. I found it later in my notes. Sorry.
No, that's a good one. My only other question is, did Eunice become like a tree stump?
Yes. How? Now, my question is how, because, like, again, I wrote a note, I look up, and she's like, get away from here. Don't come in this room, to, like, Harry Potter Sr. and his wife. And why did they make the mom look so much like young Eunice? Because that took me for a little bit of a loop, too, because I thought I got bamboozled again.
Nope.
Writing notes, and I was like, this is clearly, like, the witch lady got younger, right? And I was like, yeah. And I thought it was like, did they replace her with the mom, like as some kind of symbolism? But no, this is just those two look very similar. And okay.
Do you have any notes, any other thoughts about Troll?
The troll eventually like converts everybody in the building besides our parents and the son into trolls, and the witch is like, look, you're gonna have to fucking fight my husband, my old boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is gonna turn into Scott Pilgrim real quick. You're gonna have to fight one of my crazy exes. He's like, okay. She's like, take this scepter. Now, this is the second strange artifact that shows up in this house that the parents don't care about.
Yep.
Because the little girl shows up with a ring, and they're like, where'd you get that? She's like, found it. They're like, where? She's like, somewhere. And they're like, cool, nice ring. Okay, cool. It's like a giant emerald ring that's weird. Okay. The little boy walks in with this fucking golden scepter, and his dad's like, okay.
Which can, like, just, like, open things and fix things and change things, and, like, there's never like a learning period, like how to use it. Just like people just know. It's like, okay.
That's okay. You're leading. Perfect segue. You're leading me up to okay. He goes into the fairy world in the apartment of the swinger guy that became Little Shop of Horrors, and he finds his sister, and she's in this Snow White encapsulated.
Yes, in the middle of the forest.
In the middle of the forest, glass case.
Sleeping Beauty. It's like Sleeping Beauty. Yeah.
Sleeping Beauty. Okay, laser grid, red shock fence over top of it, and the little boy like puts his hand, it like zaps him. He's like, oh no, how am I gonna get my sister out of here? And he just fucking taps it with the scepter, and it's just done. That's it. There's no more lock. That's the whole thing. There was no anything. It was just like boop, and he's just like, okay.
I feel like this is like a video game where like there's just no items. It's just like, oh, this item must do everything. It's just like, can I use the scepter on the door? Yeah, you sure can. Can I use the scepter on the witch? You sure can. Can I use the scepter on the Sleeping Beauty table? You sure can.
That's very, very true.
Because like the ring has similar powers, but
yeah,
he doesn't have the ring. Yeah. You know, she has the ring. So
she is the ring, which is like the important one. You know.
Do you want to see the trailer for this?
I would like to. I would like to see how they pitch this movie.
So I don't know for sure that this is...
and the last thing I have is I'm so glad that this is... We talked about all of the similarities to the other movies we've watched, reading a book and a movie again to a child again, telling a story, whatever. You know what we got a lot of in this movie too? That sick-ass 80s green CGI glow.
Oh,
it's just like... What is it? Just like green mush over the screen? You're like, oh yeah, that's cool.
So the trailer we're watching is Troll 1986 official trailer. This is posted by Scream Factory when they released this on Blu-ray. So I'm not sure if this is the original one, but they call it the official trailer. So I don't know. We're going to find out. This was posted 8 years ago.
Oh, yeah, because this was redone on Blu-ray. Did you mention it earlier, but it's like free for streaming with ads on Pluto and stuff like this.
Yeah, there's a couple different places you can watch for free, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Everywhere that you want, like you can find this movie for free. Okay,
right.
I should be ready. I think so. Let me refresh this just because it looked like it was buffering. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh yeah, she throws the ball down the basement.
I thought the ball would be like a full movie through line. It's not.
Same. Nope. It goes away forever. See, those are my washing machines. Look at that.
Those
are
avocado
so 80s.
kind of green. Our old refrigerator, like my refrigerator growing up, was that color.
Puke green.
Once upon a time is now.
Oh, okay. The troll threw her.
The rowdiest, the most mischievous, and the scariest little.
Oh, and it has an antenna.
It does, or like a needle, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. This makes it look like way more like zany.
I mean, the movie's pretty zany. I also think it's funny, just like the guy is like, you know, Julia-Louis Dreyfus' boyfriend, she's like wearing a Cub shirt in the middle.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool.
It's like it feels like it's like out of time somewhere, like existing beyond time. It's like, no, I'm a Cubs fan.
The Potters move into their new apartment.
The Potters. If one of them had to live under the staircase, I would have been so happy.
Here's the scene we were talking about before. And she goes from being annoyed slightly
kind
to
of
being
amused.
like, I married the right man. I love how silly he is.
Yeah, see, that's her in the tree stump, yeah.
There's Julia.
I didn't know she was shirtless in it. That's pretty fun.
Some magazine apparently posted like a topless photo of her with her face covered.
And?
I don't know, it's just out there.
It's dead. Harry Jr.
It's Daddy.
Drawn into a world beyond his wildest fantasy. And
Is he? There he goes. He gets sucked in with the scepter. Okay, then you have this giant troll. And then she shoots it. See, here we go. Oh, fuck. Sick CGI. 80s CGI. Love it.
I also do like, you know, like a lot of the other movies that Josh and Michael have picked. There's just like a lot of fog. Just like it's fog. It's the 80s.
I think when
It's
you're
fog.
shooting practical, that fog is covering for a lot of shit. Sonny Bono, yeah. I didn't even notice it. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, Noah Hathaway is the kid. Is Harry Potter Jr.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Oh, you can get Troll and Troll 2 on
One Blu-ray. This would have been a sick-ass horror movie. Don't you think, as a horror guy? Like, if they would have, like, went into it and it would have been murderous.
Yeah, like here, I have Troll 2. I don't own Troll 1, but I own Troll 2.
But you said there's no trolls in Troll 2.
No. I mean, there's, like, goblins. It's goblins.
Then why didn't they call it Goblin?
I don't know, man.
It looked like that movie cover had a bunch of trolls on the front of it.
I think a troll is, like, the big thing at the end. I don't think the little guy is actually
No, the
a
little
troll.
guy is the troll.
I don't know, man.
Because she says, like, it's going to be, like, a scary monster. Like, he likes to be extravagant. Like, he's not going to pick, like, a small troll. The troll was, like, but I don't understand how it's different than the other person. I thought that she was saying, like, this is my boyfriend. He got exiled. He became a troll. And then she's like, he's going to do something weird. And so then he was, like, then there's the big thing that's, like, the monster, which is fine. But the troll still exists. It's not like the troll became the monster, and then the troll stops the monster from hurting the little girl because the troll likes the little girl. But it's just two sides of his personality. It's the same person. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. It's the same person,
Bilkins
Joey.
is
So
Tanner.
like
Tanner is Bilkins.
Bilkins, yeah. So like, what?
I don't know. I don't think there's answers.
I do not think that there's answers.
I also don't want there to be answers.
I don't want there to be answers either. This makes it more fun. This was actually like one of the most fun ones to talk about too, because like, what the fuck happened in this movie? I don't know.
Wild. All right, Joe. The Letterbox game. So for reference sake, Mad Max Fury Road. Ooh, momentous. 2 million. Hit 2 million.
Okay.
Well, I guess because Furiosa came out, so that number.
That makes sense.
Troll 1986, directed by John Carl Buechler, starring Noah Hathaway, Jenny Beck, and Phil Fondacaro, has been seen by how many people?
I feel like it probably has a cult following. People like Troll 2. Or people talk about Troll 2. It's free on a lot of things. I'm going to start with 80,000 people.
You are too high.
Too high. 40,000 people.
Too high. One more guess.
That feels weird. 27,000 people.
Still too high. 14,621.
Feels weird.
14,621. Average rating of a 2.7, most common a 3, then a 2, then a 2.5. How many out of those 15,000 people have this in their top 4 favorite films of all time?
12 is my first guess.
You are correct.
No way. Dead on? 12?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Have I ever hit dead on with how many there was like that?
Know. I have no idea.
I was wildly off on how many seen it or logged it. But
I know.
Like,
you know.
that's okay. There we go. Hit my shot. Fucking Babe Ruth that one.
We are going to Lil Blue Dunebug, who rewatched this movie last year, gave it 5 stars, and said, without a fucking doubt, the best movie I've ever seen in my life, and the haters can suck penis. P-E-E-N-U-S. 5 stars.
Penis? P-E-E-N-U-S? Does Letterboxd ban you from writing penis on it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so even better. Good shit.
Lil Blue Dunebug. You can visit their Etsy store at stripesalamander.etsy.com.
What do they sell? Can you forward that to me? I want to look through it real quick.
Let me just share my screen.
Oh, yeah, that works. I just want to see the Etsy store, bro.
They've got Stripe Salamander logo beanie, hand-embroidered doodles and various knitted goods, blue Edler.
This is kind of sick, to be honest. Scroll down some for me.
A lot of hand-knit stuff. It's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of Fool Tarot stuff. There's like clown stuff. It's not really my aesthetic, but it's a very cool aesthetic.
I agree. I absolutely agree. This is like retired Nightmare Before Christmas girls aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. So, Lil Blue Dunebug, number 1 favorite movie, Troll.
Okay.
It's hard to find one that we could do for this one. Number 2 is one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Number 3 is a movie we have not covered this lap, but would fit with this lap, but we've talked about this lap. And then number 4 is a movie, The Lobster, which I can't get you to guess. So good luck with that one. So number 3, a movie we have
The Lobster?
not covered.
You just gave me that one?
Yeah, I'm not going to
Perfect.
get you to guess The Lobster.
Okay.
Number 3 is not a movie we've covered, but is a movie that we talked about on another episode for multiple reasons. It would fit this lap.
Okay.
From the 80s.
Okay. Give me some more.
Directed by someone who directed another movie this lap.
Okay.
Tagline is Another World, Another Time in the Age of Wonder.
Another world, another time. In the Age of Wonder.
Mm-hmm. It's just more fantasy.
I don't know, dude. Another world, another time in the Age of Wonder. Another fantasy.
Think about the other movies that are like the one that we just talked about.
Okay.
One of those that we did was made by a guy who made this movie.
Was it during Neverending Story or Princess Bride? What do you think?
Neither. Keep going.
What other ones did we do? The Keep? But
actually, hold on.
What?
This is strange.
Tell me.
This movie is co-directed by two men, each of whom directed a movie that we've done this lap.
Okay. That's fun.
Neither of which you've said the name of, though.
Because I don't know their fucking names. I don't know the names of anybody that did a movie this lap.
No. Neither of the movies you said.
Oh. Okay. I have no fucking idea. Who's in this movie? Tell me that.
Both of the directors are in the top three.
Are actors in the movie?
Well, yeah. Kind of.
Do you say that because they're not very good at acting?
No,
or do you say
they're not known for acting.
They're not known for acting.
I've never heard of anybody else in this movie.
What is it? I have no clue. What is it? Age of Wonder. Different time, different place, same
The
wonders.
movies that were directed by these men this lap. One did Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay.
But the other one, in which we talked about this movie more often, was Labyrinth.
Okay.
What movie did we talk about a lot during Labyrinth?
No idea. I don't remember.
This movie, directed by Frank Oz and Jim Henson, The Dark Crystal.
Ah, yes. I would never guess The Dark Crystal, but that makes sense. Perfect choice. Excellent. You did good. I did bad.
The number two, one of the most famous horror movies of all time. 3 sequels, which I don't even know if you knew that there were sequels to this movie.
Okay.
Monster Made Pod. Dan Colon loves the sequels to this movie.
Okay.
Made by one of the most famous, well-regarded, best-known, best at his craft horror directors of all time.
Night of the Living Dead.
No. I would have started with Pittsburgh if that was the case.
Thank you. Appreciate that. A horror movie that has 3 sequels, so there's 4 of them, but I wouldn't probably even know that there were sequels.
Yeah, no one really talks about the sequels unless you're like a horror nerd.
Is it Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
The movie's in black and white.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, the second time, you're right.
I mean, The Thing? Was that in black and white?
No, The Thing's in color.
There's
also no sequels to The Thing.
What am I... Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to guess movies I don't think that there's sequels to.
Who's the most famous horror director of all time?
I don't know.
Suspense director.
I don't know. Who is it?
Around from the 20s to the 70s.
Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Name...
Psycho.
Did you know there's Psycho 2, 3, and 4?
No fucking clue. Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know there's a TV show. Bates Motel was really good. We liked Bates Motel for a while.
With the young doctor, the good doctor.
Yeah. Dude, if Twitter loves... Do you know this? Do you know Twitter loving the good doctor?
Why does Twitter love the good doctor?
Because that show's apparently just unfucking hinged, and he just is like, I have autism, and just like yells it, and they just like love like clipping that. And, like, he says like a lot of weird shit in that show because it's just like, you know, bullshit TV, and they love just like clipping him just like freaking out in that show about like something. Like, I know that there's one that I think he just yells, I have autism, really loud, and they think that one's great. So
I think that's a show that my parents watched most, if not all of. And once they're like, so get this, he's a doctor. But he's young.
And he has autism.
It's just like, okay, and? No, that's it.
So it's like Doogie Howser, but without the charm. You're like, yeah, okay, cool.
Anyway, thank you, Josh. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. I like this one. Like I said, I give this my stamp of approval. This goes on the Dive Bar playlist. I need to investigate Troll 2. But this one was fun, and I don't think that you needed any nostalgia for this. You didn't need to no. This is like just pure insane fun. So
but it is also wild that it's to a certain extent the same movie as for the movies we watch this lap.
I think it's indicative of the 80s, but it's very like I can't tell if it's Josh and Michael and like their tastes are just like movies where a story is being told to a child fantasy.
Well, it does feel like if you like one of these movies, you would like all these movies growing up.
That's true. I think that they are different.
There are other movies later this lap that are not like this. Like we're diversifying a little bit, but it's just like.
But we're on a run here of like 4 that are very, 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 very similar. They have a lot large similarities and like large heavy similarities.
Yeah.
In weird ways, in very weird. Like you said, like when we're talking about Princess Bride, and then we're talking about Neverending Story, and then we get to here. I'm like, are we fucking telling another story to a child? Like, is every movie in the 80s?
Like this movie opens, like the opening credits are like slowly zooming in on a book. I'm like, again, are we doing this again?
Yes,
but it's not. It's different enough. But I'm also just like, guys.
No. I'm just like, is 80s like we need to make.
I'm not saying guys in turn, Josh. I'm just in terms of like 80s filmmakers. It's like, guys, there's more than one story you can tell.
Like, did you guys all just do cocaine and be like, it'd be sick?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that's precisely what happened, right? Okay, cool. Because it was like, what if we had this costume? It's kind of a horror movie, but for children, and we read a book to them, and it becomes scary, and it's an adventure story. And you're like, yeah, and there's magic. You're like, yeah, and they're like, well, where can we set it? And then they just like do the like roll the dice or like throw darts at the wall. They're like, in an apartment building with a crazy lady upstairs, and like Little Shop of Horrors ? And like, yeah, and you're like, okay, cool, yeah, we can make a movie about this. That works. Feels AI generated in a fun cocaine way.
A little bit. But I think that's just also
80s.
It is 80s.
Yeah.
If you have not yet voted on the Too Fast, Too Forever Hall of Fame, there's still a couple more weeks to vote. CageClub.me/vote. Maybe not a couple more weeks if you're on the main feed, but CageClub.me/vote. Please record, cast your ballots, record your vote, record your entry. Nominate what is in the Hall of Fame. We will announce that on Festivus, June 22nd. Also, a very special shout out to our patrons, Cassie Wilson, Nick Burris, Alex Ellen, and Justin Kleiman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party, West Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden, Renato DiDonato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski. I got my own last name wrong. Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sport, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Mike Gallagher, Josh Buckley of Whole Lotta Wolves, Michael Moser, Christian Larson, Tara New One, Aaron Willows, Natalie Absolute, Randy Carter, Josh Goularm, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Thank you all for supporting us at the $5 a month level or above.
You guys.
On
Seriously.
Monday, you will get the episode Good Burger, West Hampton's patron pick. And then next week, everyone will get the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift with Walt and Kim coming back to talk about Tokyo Drift. Joe, any final thoughts?
Tell us train facts. And tell us a train fact.
One train fact. Singular.
Fuck. Okay.
Any final thoughts about Troll?
No, this was a fun one. Thanks, guys. I actually like this one.
For all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFastTooForever, or at TooFastTooForever on all the platforms. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page at TooFastTooForever.com and our store, cageclub.me/shop, and come back next week for Tokyo Drift. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And we will tell you all about it
when we see you